Okay, so this is the conclusion of week one of my 50K Apex funded accounts. I had 3 days traded, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm just going to run through some examples of some trades that I took throughout this week. This is the day's P&L. So every day was green. It was kind of a tough market on a few of the days, but overall, I'm happy with the results. I'm just trying to work away from that trailing threshold and just keep getting that cushion in the account. So one thing you'll notice on the trading charts that you'll see is I'm actually entering on NQ Sim utilizing the Apex trade copier system. So when you see Sim 101, that's because I'm entering on NQ with 1 to 5 contracts, but actually trading on the micro chart behind it using micros. So on this trade, we had a bit of bullish divergence off New York Open, off PP, and I was looking for a break of this line in the sand, the prior value area high, also a break of this probe line, this trend line. Hindsight, I would have liked to actually see a better higher low get put in, maybe somewhere around here like New York Open. Yes, we had this, but the oscillator structure wasn't amazing. So I would have liked to see price come down and print another higher low, just confirming the trade. But it was enough for me to put, average size of risk on. Putting my stop below New York Open and just targeting some prior levels of interest up to overnight high and just front running those levels. We did get a decent move pre-market up, so I thought this had enough probability on my side to take that entry. And I thought we were going to get a higher low that actually prints here that could potentially bust through the line in the sand and then propel price up, but that candle just really doesn't get formed appropriately. Right here you can see it will get wicked out and then quickly reverse on me. So this trade, we have some bearish divergence with higher highs on price and lower lows on oscillator structure off overnight high. And we had one lower high, and I was looking for a second lower high to print, breaking through again that prior value area that we took off the trade just a couple minutes ago. So once price breaks this level and closes, I short for multiple micros, but I only got filled on one since I'm using limit orders. But I just left the trade go without FOMOing and entering for more contracts. So one thing I'm working on with my trading is leaving the stop losses at the levels of the original risk tolerance based on the trade, but to the other side is that while I'm in these Apex funded accounts, I do have an active trailing threshold that is looking to basically capture any open equity position. So as trades go in my favor, if they reverse on me, that goes against my trailing drawdown. Until I have some cushion in these accounts, I'm pretty aggressively following my trades with the stop losses. It's something I'm working on, but just in the beginning, I'll be more aggressive on the stop losses to not give back some of the unrealized profits. So I'll normally move my stop loss to something that makes sense. That was probably a pretty aggressive move, but we did have PP here, and so I was hoping for a break of this profile or this level, and then price to push down and close towards the VWAP and the prior POCs. But I believe we get a rejection off this level that just takes my stop loss out. So this trade, I'm going to pause the screen for a second. So this trade is one that is probably one of the best setups that we can get. Zach from TTN actually posted a very similar trade to this a couple of days ago. So in this trade, we actually had multiple drives of bullish divergence. You can see 1, 2 here with lower lows on price and 2 higher lows, actually a third on the oscillator structure. So on the 1,000 tick, I was watching this as well to put in a pretty solid higher low. In Zach's trade, basically the same kind of structure. I think he had only one higher low prior to the actual entry of the trade. This kind of chopped around, and you can see me getting long off this higher low, basically getting break even, seeing some bearish divergence, getting short. So I got chopped up in here. So really the best entry is what you're going to see right here as this true higher low prints. It actually prints a higher low on the 1,000 tick, breaking this prior ranging support that we had. And I was looking for a move up to basically this ranging price bracketing action here between these two channels, if you will. We had kind of been in this range for a while, but with this oscillator structure, I really thought we were going to get a good push. And so my trade idea, which you'll see I did not follow through on, was that price prints a dramatic higher low on 377 and 1,000 tick, bust through this prior support channel, bust through this market profile level, bust through this probe, and we just get all these resting orders taken out. Because most likely there are stop orders from shorts sitting up here, and which will then propel price up. And the only issue is I just did not let the trade play out. But in my head, this was pretty much an A++ setup. So this is something called tick strike over here on the right. It's an audible queue of buys and sells. I use it sometimes to kind of help me keep it in trades longer. I don't use it all the time, but it is an additional piece of confluence. But you can see that price hits these profile levels with dramatic force. And my only issue is I just don't let the trade play out as I intended in the trade plan. So at first my stop loss is tucked just below this prior support. I was quickly in profit. I think 5 points right off the bat. So I'm looking for price to break this trend line or this probe right here and get propelled up. Then hitting these resting stop orders here and here, pushing up to fill my target just below this prior swing high. So we're starting to get some movement. The stochastic structure is looking great. The negative delta is flipping. RSX looks fantastic. And I pull my stop loss above this prior market level, and that's where the issue began. Had I tucked it just under, that probably would have been okay, or just left it below this channel. But you can see me eventually getting wicked out for like 7 points. And so I actually speed up the charts here because I'm out of the trade, but you can watch price's reaction at this probe and prior levels we were just discussing. There she goes. So even if I had trailed just in queue price line by like 10 points, I would have captured all of this move and probably gotten taken out somewhere around here when price comes back. Either there or maybe made it up to this level. Otherwise, great trade, just didn't let it play out. Okay, so this is one of my favorite setups. You can see this is where we got long just a minute ago. So we had a massive change in behavior with that run up. And so what I'm doing here is drawing a flag. My thought process on this trade is actually a bull flag. So we broke through the 377 opportunity zone structure here, but we were testing the 1,000 tick. And so what I was looking for was a bit of bullish divergence in this bull flag with a break of the 1,000 tick opportunity zone. And this candle closed up into the 1,000 tick EMA structure. I left my stop at the default 10 points. There wasn't really any additional risk that I wanted to give. I could have come down here, but it wasn't in my interest to reduce it. I felt like if this trade was going to work, it was going to push price up fairly quickly. But this is probably one of the best setups you can get. 377 bull div in the 1,000 tick op zone, breaking a bull flag, probe, prior resistance, flip to support, and just looking to target some key market profile levels. You'll see I move my target down here. Second target at S1, third target becomes New York Open here in just a minute. This is a trade I would take all day long. We even had VWAP here as support too. Wonderful oscillator structure, curling and crossing to the upside after the bullish divergence. Hindsight, this should have been a 5 micro trade. First target just got tapped. And what I attempt to do here is attach my stop loss to the price line minus 40 ticks, which is 10 points. But I think I accidentally clicked the fib pivot instead. So I quickly realized my stop loss was not moving. So I just transitioned to trailing it manually, moving it to something reasonable after this second target gets hit and pushes through S1. And you'll see price comes back and will actually hit my trailing stop loss, which I end up pulling up a little bit closer. It does come back, tap me out, and then eventually it hits my target. But if I'm just a couple of points away from my target right now, I'm still okay with moving that stop loss up just until I get that cushion built in the account. Okay, so this trade idea is actually a 377 op zone. It's kind of a tough situation because this was actually the first test of the op zone. We weren't technically in a trend, but with this pretty strong move downwards, even with the bullish divergence here, I just really loved this stochastic structure with the oscillators curling and crossing down. So I thought it was valid enough to take with not full size, but 2 micros. Again, something that I'm seeing as I'm speaking this video through is moving that stop loss prior to really being in profit or even letting that first target get hit. So what you'll see is with this reduction in buying delta, I felt like it was okay to move my stop loss down to the 50 EMA on the 377 tick. Right there, I just tried to pull in one contract, missed, and then I guess that got me a little bit antsy since I wasn't able to capture that one profit target right here. So I didn't want to risk losing 2 contracts worth of trailing drawdown. So I ended up moving my stop loss down to that 50 EMA. And what I was assuming is that price was going to just continue working in my favor. But what we'll quickly realize is that price came up, generates a higher low, not breaking this prior swing point where my stop loss was sitting originally as protection. There you go, it took me out, and then this actually becomes a lower high, still testing and resisting the 377 tick op zone. So what I do is here I come in with 4 contracts after the confirmation of this lower high and get short, looking for a fill just above overnight low. There's a probe line that we end up drawing in here. So additional confluence is if price comes in, breaks this trend line, we're going to get a move down to this key market profile level. We didn't have any profile structure below this point in the past. I think it was 60 days. So I made a note here that it said basically no longs below this level. So this was something of very strong interest to me. So I was willing to put on more size, looking to take that full move here. And you'll see that price does quickly move down And I actually get a touch no fill on my target for all 4 micros right there. And price comes back and smacks my stop loss. That would have been an extra, I think, 15 points had that target actually filled, but still a wonderful trade setup.